Tom?
Yes.
We're going to open this work session of the Plain Township Board of Trustees. The topic's the Veterans Memorial Park Splash Pad, John Forker. I'm going to turn it over to our administrator, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. I'll get started until John gets here. It was last minute that I had asked him to come, and I know tomorrow he's going to Utah. John installs splash pads all over the country, however, never one in his own backyard locally. So this all started when the sensory garden was placed in. We just had the tiny fountain and then the sprinkler system out, and kids were going crazy over the water. And Rob happened to be out sick, and Joe and I were out there, and I said, you know what, it's time maybe for a splash pad. Rob and I had talked about it when he first started, but there was a lot going on, and after seeing those kids, I thought, what a great idea. So I looked around and came upon John, who is local and has installed these all over the country, has been featured on HGTV, that website House. You can find him all over. He's done these, I believe, in Disney too. So we started working with him. Initially at Alpine, which looking back on it wasn't the best choice because we were operating on a well. Looked at adding city water, way too expensive to get the lines back there. And here comes John now. Hi, John.
How you doing?
This is John Foraker. I was just giving him the history of how we started, and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh, great.
So and I told him it was last minute. I just, called you, and we were lucky to have you here. So once we realized Alpine wasn't the best choice, even for parking, I asked John to take a look at Veterans, which he initially had proposed at Veterans, thought it was the optimal site. We had the water, and I led him down the wrong path, and then we ended up right where we wanted to be. Then Joe, Marilyn, and I took a visit at his shop, which is right here locally, and we were like kids in a candy store, because when you see the pictures I printed off, they're gorgeous, but when you see them, in person, they are amazing. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to John to tell you where we started, where we're at, what he's proposing. And John, this is our board. This is our chief, Chuck Schellenberger. You know Joe. This is Alino, one of our trustees. Scott Hawes, trustee. John Sabo, our parks director. Rob Steinberg, our zoning director. Tom Ferrara, and then our guy with the money, our fiscal officer, Tom Love.
There we go.
So that's everybody.
Okay, well, under short notice, I'll kind of go, it's kind of neat because when we were approached, I thought it was awesome because we're local here. I was born here, went to Hoover High School, graduated, worked at a body shop for my cousin, and got into landscaping, realized I wanted to be outdoors. And we had a business here for over 20 years in this area doing landscape design. Did a lot of work for DeHoff and Bill Lemon. Did all their properties up from Cleveland down to here. And it's been great. Worked in this community for a long time. Loved the community. And when we were doing landscaping, I was approached by one of our customers that went to Disney, and they had a handicapped son. He was in a wheelchair, and they told me about his experience going into the splash pad and how he could interact with the water and with other kids, being in a wheelchair. And I thought, man, that's pretty awesome. So they said they want to build one of these at their house, and I said, can you build this? I said, not really, but I'll wing it. So we ended up building a full-size basketball court with nozzles, the latest in LED lighting, and it came out pretty cool. And so they had a big reveal when they did this opening for their house and their landscaping and the splash pad. All their friends, neighbors, And it was really cool to see these kids interact, the boy in the wheelchair, having fun. And it was like a moment right then I knew, I'm like, okay, I'm in this landscaping business, but building something, and that was gratifying, building retaining walls, you know, doing things at the end of the day, I could look back and, you know, take pride in what we did. But building something for kids that they could laugh and enjoy, and it was safe, I thought there's really something to this. So this has been at least a 12-year journey now. And so I started pursuing it, found there was a company in Ohio here called Rain Deck. You know, contacted them because they've been building water parks since 1985, so they're like the leaders in this industry. But their forte is $1 million plus water parks. So they're building, you know, one of their umbrella features is anywhere, starts out at like $8,000 to $12,000. So they helped me out with nozzles and things like this to get started, soon realizing that this was, you know, not something that the average daycare, campground was going to be able to afford. I had a meeting with Mark and said, hey Mark, I'd like to, you know, scale these down, make this, you know, something we could sell and present this to the community and not just have, you know, such huge cost and equipment. And he said he was not, at the time, he's like, I'm not really interested in doing that, John. We got our own niche here. And I said, well, Mark, is that something I'm going to, you know, if you don't want to do it, then I do it. He kind of laughed at me and said, yeah, if you want to get into this, go ahead. So, hired some engineers and partnered right down the road here on Apple Grove, US Fiberglass. Contacted them, local company here. And, you know, went to them and said, hey, this is what I want to do. And he too was not real excited at first. He's like, man, this looks like a pain in the butt. You know, you're small, you're going to sell a couple pieces here and there. And soon convinced him, hey, this is what we really want to go after. So now we're manufacturing right here in Plain Township. And it's awesome because we have equipment that's gone all around the world. We have equipment overseas for the military. We've done work at U.S. Air Force Base, Cherry Point, North Carolina. We've done work for NASA. We installed, like I say, all over the country. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun making all this equipment, selling it, and producing splash pads. And we do a lot of give back. We're involved in Make-A-Wish projects. We've done over 15 Make-A-Wish projects. And what I do is I like to get my guys involved. So I make them. There's guys that run the shop. There's guys at US Fiberglass. If we can pull them off there, I make them go to these projects because these are all special needs kids. And we donate our products and services to them. We go in and do these builds, and it's awesome because we get to see what their life is like, usually for 3 days or so. Because they're such a small build, we're in and out in a couple days, but my guys need, you know, it's nice for them to see that, hey, you know, you're very fortunate that you guys can go home to families and you don't have special needs. So it's a fun project. So giving back to the community is a real big part of what we do. And so when I heard about this project, I got excited about it, wanted to get involved and, you know, have my hand in it. I missed out on an opportunity for Canton. I've worked with them for over 4 years, you know, trying to get in down there. And they had an out-of-country, somebody from Canada came down and installed that splash pad down there.
That's Canton.
It was just very, it was like a kick in the gut after working with them for so long. And I couldn't believe it because I was doing the...
Believe it. We believe it.
It may have to do with the difference in mayor.
Yeah.
Well, I met with the mayor, met several times down there, went over and proposed all this and did the same thing. I really tried to get involved and really wanted to give, you know, I'm like, man, there's something in town here. How cool would that be?
We believe it.
So we didn't get it, but no big deal. And then, but here we are with another opportunity, so just want to, build something that, everybody's going to be like wowed by. So giving toward that would be, something we're definitely interested in doing. And
will you walk them through the design? I have these printed out for
Okay,
them, with
awesome.
the splash pad and kind of the thoughts and what.
So what we thought about we do a lot of neat features. So we thought, being park and rec and native to the area, we just thought about going with, the woodland and frogs and things that are in nature. So I don't know if has everybody seen these?
Yeah, well, they each have a
Oh, yeah,
packet.
everybody's got one? Okay. So on the front there, walking up, we would start, walking into the park and up to it. The first thing you're going to see are those big eyes on the frog, which is pretty fun for the kids. Anything with eyes on it, they seem to gravitate toward. We have that big umbrella there that's real bright. And then when we walk into there, all these features, like I said, are made out of fiberglass, and each one of them is custom painted by an airbrush artist that we have hired. So they're all the same, but they're all very unique in the same way that they're all custom and hand painted. And like you say, the pictures here really don't do a lot of justice for it. We use the best materials possible. We use Emron paint. That's the same paint they use on aircraft because it'll go up and it'll flex with the aluminum. So we found that was the best product, and it was chlorine resistant. So we use something that's going to be chlorine resistant, UV tolerant, because they're in harsh conditions most of the time. We do a lot of work down in Texas and Florida where the UV is a lot worse than what's up here. But going back to the theme here, with the butterflies, I thought that would be just something awesome that's bright, that kids can interact with, it's got a face on it. That they're built strong enough, kids can actually go up and hang on these things, which they do. I've seen pictures of kids hanging on this stuff. We have the critter cannons, which are chipmunks and raccoons, and we have one painted up like a bullfrog that the kids can spray at each other and interact that way. That's a big hit. Absolutely. And then we have the umbrella, the classic beach umbrella, which is just fun for the kids to get under. And that's an interesting feature because we can turn this up to or turn it down to like 10 gallons a minute. So water is it's almost made like a rainmaker. The water's coming over it in rain. Or we can, on a big commercial project, we can put a 3-horse pump on that unit alone and have water sheeting all the way down to the ground. And it's fun because the kids can jump in and out of that rain. They love it. They can get under there and twist around and so forth. We have the frogs. And we thought the natural frog would be, something that would go with the theme up here. Again, just kids love to hang on them, crawl on them. We have the duck there. You can see that's my niece. She's up on that duck, standing up, showing how big it is, and just having a blast in it.
As long as there's nothing that looks like a snake.
Yeah. we do have some snake features, but it's like a wacky, funny snake. The dump bucket, we have a single dump bucket proposed there. It's 11 foot tall, so it's usually, I found out we need to build it high enough that, because we get these teenagers that can slam dunk, and so they're wanting to dunk on this thing, so we try to get it up there that they're not going to be hammering on it too bad. And it's all made out of heavy-duty fiberglass again, so it's made to take some abuse. We have the fish that sprays out of his mouth. That's real fun, and just all painted up, fun colors and fun design there. And then the hoop, the 7-foot hoop that they can run back and forth through. And all these. It's kind of neat because all these features can be adjusted so they can either spray a lot of water or a small amount of water. But we want we had these nozzles, and we built them out, we had made them out of PVC, they're injected molded, so we have the ability to take the eyeball out of the nozzle and put in either a 2 gallon a minute spray, so that we're using low flow, low usage of water, or I can put in a 5 gallon a minute nozzle and spray a lot of water and have a lot of water. So we have the ability to tone it down, turn it up, things like that. I know, everybody's water conscious these days, so that's why we came up with our own nozzles, just for that particular reason. And then to go along with, as far as not using a lot of water, we have a bollard activator. So the kids go up and they turn this activator on, and that'll turn on the whole splash pad. And then it'll be on for a predetermined time, say 5 or 10 minutes, then it'll shut itself off. And the kids need to run back up and turn that on to reactivate the pad. Now that almost becomes a game in itself, because as soon as that water turns off, the kids all look at each other and who's gonna run and turn it back on, So that's fun. We have a YMCA that actually turned theirs down to 45 seconds. And I'm like, geez, the kids can't even get, 10 feet away and the thing turns off and they're running back and turning it on. But they did that on purpose just to keep the kids moving, keep them active. And then just the placement of the splash pad, I thought was such a beautiful, setting right beside the patio you guys have. Just placed off to the left there, that people could use that area and then come out straight off there to the walkway and go right onto the splash pad. And yet it was far enough away from, so the kids that are playing in the water, they're there obviously for the water, and then they can run over and play in the other facility there as far as the playground, and then go back and forth or whatever. But I think it's a perfect place because of the facilities and the water and everything that you guys have there.
Will you explain to the board the one thing that, first your give back, so they understand your generous give back to the community?
Okay, so we're building, so it's a $60,000 splash pad that you only spend $40,000 with. So, this is my community. I want to show a strong presence, and that was something that we wanted to give back to. So, that would be supplied. It's coming right off the top of what we're doing. So, all my guys are trained in-house. So we do everything from excavating. We do our own plumbing, we do our own concrete work, and we do our own surfacing. So from start to finish, it'll be my same guys on this job. We don't hire anybody to do this or to do that. So once you hire us to do this, all the, if there's any warranty issues, it's all under us. We can't go back. That's what people love about hiring us, is we come in and do the excavating, we do the plumbing. So if there's a plumbing issue, the plumber can't say, hey, the concrete guy did that, or he broke that. Well, I don't have an excuse, we just fix it, So, some rest. And it's gonna be close to do any service work. I mean, I think it took me 5 or 10 minutes to drive here, so it's a lot better than going to NASA to do any service work. And then on the proposals, we do a spring turn on, which will be, obviously in the spring, and we do a fall shutdown. So we come out, we'll shut the pad completely down, winterize it. And that's, something that normally I would say, hey, we'll turn this over to you guys, or is that something you guys are comfortable in doing? You guys are so close, and part of my give back would be I would just maintain that ongoing. We'll just do that as part of the service for you guys. So we'll winterize it in the winter, we'll blow it all out. If you have a place that we can store the features, we either take the features off and store them somewhere.
We'll make the space.
Okay, or they can,
Yeah.
A lot of places are up year-round, so.
If we have space.
We have space.
What's the overall size of the pad, so?
That's a good question. I think we're like 1,500 square feet in the wet zone, and I'm sorry, I really should have stopped back and just shut at the office and got some of this information.
Yeah, I mean, I called you last minute and.
I think it's probably around 3,000 square feet overall of concrete, and then 1,500 square feet of it is the wet zone, I would call it. So basically, we have a 4 or 5 foot walkway all the way around that would be a dry zone.
And the one thing, because of the budget that wasn't included is the, and I called it wrong today, and that's why my email probably confused you, is the safety surface. Will you explain that to the board?
This is a cement, this is all cement, this white,
This is all concrete, that's correct.
and then the safety thing will be for slipping purposes, or what is
It's
this?
not more, so when we do this, it'll be a broomed concrete finish, which is
Okay.
non-skid, non-slip. The safety surface is something that we take, it's rubber ground up. So we take bags of this material and we put it in a big mixer and add a binder to it. It's a flexible binder.
Is it something similar like on a walking track, like Caton has that walking track, that little?
You know what, it's actually on your playground up there.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not, the
Sure.
only difference is ours is, that's a EPDM surface, and we're gonna use a thermoplastic. Thermoplastic is not only chlorine resistant, it's UV resistant. Then we use a special binder, it's an aliphatic binder. What they use on playgrounds is aromatic, and aliphatic is twice the cost of aromatic. So just because it's made from chlorinated water, it's going to see a lot more abuse in the sun and so forth. So that's what it basically has, that squish factor. It goes down about a ½ inch over top of the concrete. The kids are going to slip, they are going to fall, but this is going to minimize bleeding.
And it's about 15,000 extra, correct?
It is. Anytime
You're
you
gonna try to grant it, but
say safety,
would we have it if we don't grant it? And if we did, let's say she wants to try to do a grant to get that coating, but let's say we can't do it, but we want to put that on. Is it something that could be on this next, you could do it in the spring, if you were to start this project now, is it too late or can we still put it on?
no, it's not too late. So actually, if we were going to do the build this fall, I wouldn't even do the surface till spring.
He just said a key word, kids aren't gonna fall,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a safety, so. as
So
one
we'll try to
trustee,
raise funds or
I'm
get
saying-
money for in the spring, and if not, we'll look at it.
Basically, what we do is we come in, we chalk off all the way around, we'll find that 5-foot walkway, and we'll score that. And what we do is we grind an area that'll go about 3/4 inch into the concrete, then it'll taper like this, so when we bring the surface, it dives down into the concrete and leaves there's no tripping hazard right there, so the kids are running on and off. We do that, and then same thing around all the toys. We have the nozzles that are flush mounted, so we'll key out all around those nozzles and they'll dive down in there.
And then we can have the Plain Township logo
Yeah.
on it, and then we can do the My Splash Pad logo on it for your
Yeah.
give back too.
Um,
Or if you want to put it on any of the benches too, however you want to do that.
Okay?
Is maintenance, is there a lot of maintenance on it? What do we have to do to take care of it? Is there things that we just need to know that we do right?
The biggest thing I see, the biggest problem is when they're mowing around it, keeping grass clippings, tree debris out of the pad, because the TPR is not going to grow mold and has no way to harbor it. But we had one in Pennsylvania where they ground up all their oak trees and they just blew it all over the pad. Well, you know that material's porous, it goes down in there and settles down in, and it started to get the fungus in the pad. And they're calling me
I
up.
don't think we're pretty picky
We're
about
pretty
grass.
meticulous about it.
Yeah, so
Let me
that's,
ask you a key word then, though, because you had said something that triggered me a little bit, that they could go from the playground to the pad. Well, the playground has that, doesn't it have, is that what it was gonna come from?
that's got that rubber
So
on
there's some
it.
mulch on there, so now if their feet are wet, they get down on their feet, they're gonna carry that over there.
I don't see that being a problem.
No.
No.
Do we have to,
Going through grass, cross
Conic, so, you know, they might go across the grass and but should we power wash that every year, or a couple times a week, or once a week, or
Kind of as needed. I've got,
to get that stuff off it? Because there's gonna be grass, debris, probably mulch from their wet feet on there.
like, I know some of the parks go through in the morning with a blower, and they blow the pad off.
Perfect.
And honestly, they don't power wash it, but maybe clean it once or so a year. So, I mean, that would be part of my,
Power wash once a year, but make sure weekly it's just, in the morning, make sure we blow it off.
just blow it off and clean it off. And the fall's gonna be our biggest problem, fighting the leaves and
Right.
debris, things like that.
I don't think we have a huge issue there. Not
As long
all
as
the
we
trees.
blow it off.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem we see because leaves, as you know, like, it's like tea, it'll stain it, it's just laying on there.
Yeah, 'cause it does, almost stains driveways sometimes, so.
Any other questions from the board?
I've just, guys, I don't have questions because most of it's been very, I'm just honestly overwhelmed
Yeah.
by what you're proposing here,
Awesome.
from the sake of not only what it will bring as an element to our park, but what is beyond significantly generous contribution and give back. I mean, we got folks who are stakeholders in this community, and it's not just because it's a dollar level. I mean, it's a pride thing, and the fact of what you've spoken through on, even the products that are coming in, that are manufactured.
Right in downtown Meadow Ranch.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
I grew up there, right?
Yeah.
I used to know the guy with the long beard that used to own.
That was
it.
Tom, yeah.
Yeah, so it is overwhelming, and that's
That's
what
right.
I kept telling him, it's overwhelming, and I knew that our board, if you could come in, would be overwhelmed by your generosity. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that we felt like we wanted to do and just grab the opportunity. I talked to a couple other people about it, and they weren't too enthused, but I'm super enthused about it.
He has been reaching out to community stakeholders to see if they'd be interested.
well,
to
whatever
on our
I mean,
behalf.
if there's certain avenues where if you're talking with different stakeholders and it helps, having our team follow up in conjunction or whatever, collaborate through that, we'll make those resources, we will make those resources available.
Okay.
So we're gonna, I mean, I know we can't officially make a decision until the meeting.
Okay.
But I mean, what you're proposing here is just,
Can I get a picture of the board with John, just if a decision is made that
yeah,
we can use?
do that.
Okay, is that okay, John?
That's absolutely
Okay.
fine.
This park's,
It's an awesome park, and I was, I think it's a great place.
I think that what we have, how much special's going on over there? Veterans Hillside, Dog Park, County Park Trail.
This is like our
sa-
second
sa-
phase
our
of the
safety
park
center.
We're
development.
gonna have a diamond over there
Yeah.
for everybody, for our community, so it'll be awesome.
Well,
Glad to be a
Can I
part
get
of
your
it.
picture in front of with John, is that okay?
Tell me on it.
Yeah.
sure.
Ross's activity report, he was assigned 10 follow-up cases. He closed 3 robberies, 2 burglaries, and 3 thefts.
Wow.
And as of yesterday, we're going to close a couple more breaking and entering for businesses. We made an arrest yesterday that Deputy Ross had some warrants out on the guy for. So that closed up some more cases in Glen and in the county. He had a couple in the county too.
It'll be for a total of 4 breaking and enterings. This guy, Detective Ross, was able to get the warrants on them, the original warrants. And then the road patrol, making a traffic stop on the individual and getting him into custody. They solved 2 more breaking and enterings and recovered a stolen vehicle. Correct, sir?
Correct. Yeah, he was, the stolen vehicle was in there, not in North Canton, so we got it.
As Lisa just said, does he sleep?
Well, maybe. Not at night, but he's always breaking in stuff at night. So, the next page is just the July 2016, 2017 chart, just showing it. And then the comparison for the last 4 years. Any other questions?
No. Is there anybody in the audience that has anything for the sheriff's office regarding concerns at this point?
I don't know if mine would, Jason Stout, 7053 Fenway. Yeah, Scott, you and I spoke.
Yep, via phone and email.
Should I stand and address you guys?
However you want to, as long as you
So,
give
yeah.
your name and address for the record, so.
Yeah. My neighbors and I have concerns about the speed limits at which people are traveling through our area of Wellington roads. You know, we just had a dog that we lost about 3 weeks ago. Dog was obviously in the wrong place, but nonetheless, it's 25-mile-per-hour speed limit, no sidewalks in the neighborhood, and people are floating through there at 45, 50 miles an hour. Number of neighbors, including Roger Evans, our president of our homeowners association, has expressed his concerns as well as, you know,
Right,
many other
yeah.
neighbors.
You know, Trustee Hawes forwarded that to us. We've had some cars up in the area.
Yes.
We've had a couple deputies up there who've sitting up there trying to get some, be seen in the area, try to get some people to slow down.
Yeah, that was both.
Jason, I do know, Joe had commented to me, and I apologize
Yes.
because I forgot to forward it amongst everything else. The speed trailer is probably going to be out there about another week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, based upon the
Yeah,
schedule.
it's out this week, next week, and then it'll be out there for you guys.
Okay, terrific. And then I did get your email about the
sign.
no children, or slow children in
Yeah.
play. There's a liability concern, you know, so you
Yeah,
don't
the
do that
state
any
stopped
longer.
that years ago.
Okay.
We haven't put them up for at least 10 years.
Now, the question, Joe, I'm going to ask is, I know I haven't asked before, but like over in North Canton, I do know there have been some residents that, I'm talking specifically around the YMCA area, the amount of traffic that comes in. I have seen folks that have gotten like the equivalent of like a campaign-looking sign that says, slow children. But if they were to do that themselves as residents, does that still create any concern for
As long
liability?
as they keep it back, like.
Out of the right of way.
If it's in their yard, there's nothing that can be done. In their signs, I think were effective in that area because that's when roads were closed and it was a detour and people were flying through those neighborhoods. And it was something like slow down our children,
down, children at play.
something like that.
Yeah,
It
along
did work.
Markwood,
Yeah.
is that what you're referring to, Markwood, when they
Yeah.
had Markwood?
There was a
No,
there was a
there was-
section.
There were signs there
I
too.
saw that.
When Market Avenue was closed for that 30 days.
But this was around the Y.
Right up by the North Canton YMCA,
Okay.
I think the side street. is
Yeah,
that
and I'm
McKin-
telling
is
you,
that
almost
McKinley that comes
every
down?
house had them in it. People did slow down, but they had them in their yard, almost like a
Right, so
campaign sign.
I mean, not for us to say no and hey,
Right,
it was just
no.
literally a thought that come to mind. I mean, it
Yeah.
still may be.
Yeah, we have the removable ones would be equivalent of like a caution wet floor, you know, I mean, it's, you know, portable, but our biggest concern is we're really active, you know, it's an active neighborhood, you know, with no sidewalks, and, you know, even if it's not something to protect my young children, you know, there's a lot of young children, there's a lot of older folks that walk through the neighborhood, you know, people that are mowing their grass, that's our president of the homeowners association, Roger Evans, he says, when I'm out there, you know, blowing my leaves or whatever, cars are zipping past me, he said, you know, I have my headphones on, he said, you know, you really gotta pay attention, so.
I think as I alluded to on the phone, and if I did put it right, I mean, with the additional staffing that has ramped up and the sheriff's office is real close to helping us get the final bodies in there.
Yeah.
You know, that pop unit that Captain Springer was responsible for pitching and, you know, getting the board to look at implementing, you know, that'll help, you know,
Okay.
throughout the township, whether it's the break-in issues, the serial speeding issues, and I think these gentlemen from the sheriff's office, both Sergeant Koenig, Hall, and Captain Springer, you know, we've had areas along Firestone that it's
Yeah.
where,
And that area.
and guess what, we've sat them and we've ticketed the living snot out of people. And,
Right.
you know, it does change habits for a while, but like anything, I mean, it still sort of morphs back, but, you know,
Right.
providing driveways like yours, and I know you responded to the email later.
Yeah, that my
About
neighbor,
just even placement somewhere else in another
Yeah.
drive.
well, my neighbor directly across the street, Chad Edwards, he has 2 young children as well. He's extended, I don't know if he called in, I gave him the contact. I spoke with Officer Novelli when I called in.
Sergeant Miller.
Yeah, Sergeant Novelli, sorry, and Deputy, is it Emil?
Deputy Mail was out there the other day.
Unit 16, she
Yeah.
was out there the other day. I spoke with her, real nice gal. So I appreciate all the attention you guys have given it, taking the concern seriously, so.
And sir, please don't hesitate to share with your homeowners association to definitely call on our dispatch when you're seeing it.
Okay.
It helps us better track the dates and times that the patterns are occurring. And we know it's going to be people going to work and coming home from work.
Yeah.
And then sporadically throughout the year, we understand that. Helps us focus our patrols a little bit better.
Right.
And it also helps keeping you kind of back to the top of the surface.
Okay.
So as the trustees mentioned earlier, Firestone's always a problem. 34th Street's always a problem. Martindale's always a problem. So we
Right.
start, hopping from spot to spot. So when you call back in, that kind of says, hey, it's still not fixed.
Okay.
It gets us back to you, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
One thing is, I don't mean to hog up the whole floor here, but we're trying to be proactive because they have that phase 2 of the Lexington Farms that they're just now working on, and eventually 2 of those streets are going to pop through into the neighborhood. So the neighborhood will really serve as a main estuary for all of those neighborhoods out into Apple Road. So we're just expecting the traffic to increase.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, Captain Greenwood, we'll try to keep patrolling that area. And then once we get a report back from the speed trailer, that'll give us targeted times as well that we can focus around as well.
okay, great. Thank you, guys.
I was just gonna say, let everyone know you were one of my outstanding wrestlers I had. One great wrestler right here.
Feels like an eternity ago.
I know.
Last year in my 30s here.
Enjoy it.
Anything else for the
Thank
sheriff's
you,
office?
guys.
Thank you. That'll conclude the sheriff's report. It will take us to unfinished business. And I'm going to turn this over, I believe, to our fiscal officer.
Thank you. Unfinished business number 1 is a request for resolution to adopt the 2018 alternative tax budget for Plain Township as presented, and to authorize the Plain Township fiscal officer to submit 2 copies of this budget to Stark County Auditor on or before August 20th, 2017.
I will so move. Second. Discussion. I just, upon review, it's very clean, very simple. Not that it's drastically different from years past, but I don't know if this is just trustee maybe not have as good a feel from department heads, but it seems like the budget process has become significantly easier. Is that, or it's easier, I'm not gonna say significantly.
Not significantly, but
Yeah.
It is
we're
much
getting-
easier.
we're getting better at it from our end.
And I mean, I think it's a combination of the tools and the leadership, so I just want to give credit where it's due to the
Luther's also been a very big help.
What's that?
Luther is also very,
Luther
very
is
help.
all I have.
Yeah. Good. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes. Concludes unfinished business. It'll take us to new business, and I turn it over to our administrator, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution to enter into the attached agreement between Plain Townships and Foraker Enterprises for the installation of the splash pad feature at Veterans Memorial Park, and to authorize payment to be paid from Fund 01B02, 50% of which is due upon signing of the agreement and the remaining balance upon satisfactory completion, and to further authorize Lisa Campbell to sign the attached contract on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
I will so move.
Seconded.
Discussion, I think it needs to be for the record. We had a work session where Mr. Parker come in here. Township residents spoke about the solution, how he got into the business, the quality of the product and service he's providing. It essentially, he's in-kind contributing $20,000 worth of value in this project. I mean, I know we've got a lot of proud stakeholders in this community at different levels, but this is truly putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to the invested ownership in this community, and it truly is overwhelming. It's going to go towards an asset that, I mean, is going to further make Veterans Park. We know it's already a gem, but the diversity over there is going to be all more, and nothing but less than exceptionally grateful for this solution, and looking forward to getting it in place for our public.
Lisa, thank you. You spearheaded this, got it in the right direction. I think it's going to be a huge success in our park.
Yeah, that just goes to show you also the planning for that water line, and all of that process is going to pay off big.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that's the end of new business.
Thank you. That'll take us to the fiscal officer's report. Mr. Wolf?
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a request for resolution to authorize the payment of pending warrants in an amount of $109,905.38.
I will so move. Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a request for resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $250,000.
So moved. Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a request for resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
I will move on fiscal officer number
I'll
3.
second it.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the financial report for July.
So moved. Oh, actually, that's tablet. Like,
So
yeah.
moved is okay because it's not looking too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
It's getting better, right? Things
Yeah,
happening
looking
better?
good.
Yeah.
Definitely looking good.
Good, so that's good.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is a request for resolution to authorize the following transfers.
I will so move. Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And Fiscal Officer number 6 is a request for a new liquor license from Discount Drug Mart located at 2710 Easton Street Northeast, 44721.
That's a good
And
sign.
that's absolutely after, especially after some discussions and calls we got
Yeah.
within this past week.
Yeah.
From the sheriff's office, given that there's nothing been in there for 15 to 20 years.
And
I
when it
mean,
was-
what would we typically look at in a situation like that? Just other discount drug marts or just a general geographic area to see if there's any?
In this case, geographic area.
Okay. And based upon that, we have no concerns that we could go ahead and move it on? Okay.
Great.
That's encouraging. Yeah.
That concludes the Fiscal Officer report.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Going to take us to our administrator, Mrs. Campbell.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution to authorize your Plain Township Administrator to enter into a contract with the Stark County Sheriff to provide the school resource officer to the Plain Local School District for the 2017-18 year. And to further be resolved that the Plain Local School District shall reimburse Plain Township in an amount equal to 1/2 of the contract, which is $58,554.78. So the reimbursement will not exceed $29,277.39, and they will tender such reimbursement with 30 days of receiving the invoice.
I will so move. Second. Discussion, just to clarify, does this cover the summer portion where?
That is in
That's
our
it, that's
sheriff's
it, okay.
contract,
I
yes.
just wanted to make sure.
But the nice thing about the contract is that we do not take upon his insurance because he's on his wife's insurance, so it is actually a savings to the township.
That's awesome. And I mean, I think we say this every year, but Chad's truly an amazing asset to this community, outside of what he's invested in, not just in, the immediate officer role, but we've seen even within our own park some of the issues and how quick with whether it's providing video or hearing people chirp, and he's on it. So this truly is a
And he
significant
provides
value.
training to our staff too. He did the
Alice training?
ALICE
Yeah.
training for our staff. And if we didn't have him at the school, we'd have deputies tied up at the school all day long or at different schools. So it really is a huge benefit.
No further discussion, roll call please.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment to Crisis Landscape Refine for playground mulch in an amount not to exceed $3,220 to be paid from Fund 01B02.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Discussion is that we were able to find mulch even purchased and blown by Rice's Nursery to be half the price of what we used to purchase from another vendor, and then our guys put down, labor intensive. So we will be moving in that direction from here on out. It's a tremendous savings to the township.
Okay. No further discussion, roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Next resolution is a resolution to authorize payment to Earthenwood for playground mulch in the amount of $2,160.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Lastly, I have a resolution to approve and authorize payment to Worsler Brothers Landscaping for the July 2017 composting in the amount of $2,100 from Fund 01A26L.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that's the end of the administrator's report.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. It is going to take us to the fire department. Chief Schellenberger.
Thank you. Item number 1 is our monthly report.
Is a question I know just through our use of social media, but you've even got it here on the report, the smoke detector replacement and installation. How's the response? Are we getting a lot of inquiries? Is that?
Yeah, I don't have too many left. I didn't get a very large amount. The North Canton, Mass, and Elks gave us money to buy smoke detectors, and actually, through Home Depot, they gave us a pretty good price. We were able to get 40 detectors for each department, for our $1,200. So it kind of went a little bit longer because they gave us a big discount on the product. So yeah, I'm only down to like 10. I mean, it went pretty fast already. So, and we do have our grant. Hopefully, we'll get some more. So, and the Red Cross, there's a couple of the Red Cross.
How are we too? We've made significant progress down the road here with the old training facility officially being raised, which I think is important just to draw attention to for the public.
We're hoping to have the rest of the demo done. They might be still working down there tonight. They're gonna have all the concrete out, and then we're getting calls for the bids and bid packages for the new ones. So with any luck, end of the month, we'll have a contractor for that.
Any other questions on the monthly report? Okay, next.
Item number 2 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to authorize purchase and payment of tires from Goodyear Commercial Tire in the amount not to exceed $8,000 to be taken from account 28A06B.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Concludes fire department. Thank you.
Chief takes us to the road department, Mr. Iacino.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, all I have tonight is the monthly report for July. If you have any questions, I'll have the answer.
Okay. See, now we have the road, take us to the zoning, turn it over to Mr. Farr.
Thank you, sir. Item number 1 on the agenda is the monthly report.
A couple things I wanted to point out here because I previewed it. When we take a look at the abatements and the lien totals between 16 and 17, that is a phenomenal difference. Essentially an 85% reduction through what your offices, our team will do, going from 11,600 down to $1,700. I mean, that's good cost avoidance that we're not tying up taxpayer dollars on some delayed basis. So I think that's huge to point out. And then literally when you take a look at new commercial construction, obviously we know what's going on back to the drug mart, but what we're seeing over here with Speedway, it's being raised. Speedway closing, I think, from the 11th still at 4. You got this intersection is changing drastically. Whether it's a combination of good working and planning, on our end, be at the right place, the right time, we'll take it. But that really even speaks to, I don't know the last time saw on any zoning report while I've been here, under new upcoming businesses, we've got nine new upcoming businesses. So if somebody wants to dispute, things aren't moving around here, I think that speaks for itself.
I think
So-
the venue is now full, isn't it?
Yes.
It's maxed out
It is- it's
capacity.
close, yeah. So,
The economic development in Plain Township is booming. It really is.
no questions? Good job. Thank you, Tom.
And item number 2 is a resolution to proclaim items A through F as nuisance abatements.
I will second discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And item number 3 is a resolution to proclaim items A through C as nuisance abatements.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
And that is it for zoning, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Takes us to our Parks Department, Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 1 is the monthly report. I want to point just a couple things out to you with the monthly report. One, there's a new format below the programming where I think you'll see the work order system that we've been generating, showing kind of what we're doing, where we're doing it, and when it's completed physically. I will stipulate that this is only about 2 weeks of it because I was out for 2 weeks and then did not have work orders entered. So I'll catch up with those. I think you'll see even a larger report next month. A couple other things are on here. I mentioned that our Eagle Scout will be putting in the dog park shade shelters, the 12th and 13th, which is this week, but those were finalized last month. And speaking of Chad Smith, our 2 newest community service participants will be joining us starting this Friday for 48 hours each.
Mr. President, may I jump back to zoning for a minute?
Yeah.
And it's a real quick question, that's no longer. I know you've researched this before, but I want to hear it again, but one of the gas stations on 62, they've cut 4 times now, are weeds, not grass. Why is it that we still can't throw Roundup on that and kill it? Prior, before these guys can go on and killing weeds, they're mowing weeds, it's not even grass.
There's a lot of reasons. One of them is the EPA. Another one of them is it could be considered a destruction instead of an abatement of their property. The truth of the matter is I'm hopeful, and Tom, you can step in here too, that what we passed at last meeting will help in this regard, particularly with habitual offenders. And that's why we passed that. So the hope is we'll shorten that timeline and we'll not have to wait until it's here before it's getting cut. It'll be here. So we can't do the napalm option, as I like to call it.
I thought I'd throw it out there for a try. 'Cause it's
I
just-
appreciate it, but yeah, we can't do that.
You and I can dress in all black one night and do it.
The sheriff's department sitting in the...
Never, just kidding.
As Tom down.
We will be taking care of that tomorrow. That fell under the 4-day.
I just feel bad, Tom.
And we will be out there tomorrow.
Rob, they continue to put in weeds, it's not even grass, it's stinking weeds.
You're 120% right, but I will tell you 3 of our favorites habitual offenders will be gone as of tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, good.
The 4-day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, thank you. I just wanted to, I missed that, and I went.
One last thing on my monthly report I wanted to point out. You'll see about 5 or 6 lines down that all 8 of our leagues and two program initiatives have been launched on active. This has been a extensive and intensive process, but we're finally at a point now where I think we're going to start reaping the rewards of online registrations and the ability to communicate with our constituency in real time. That's all I have. Monthly report.
Okay. Any questions?
Okay, item number 2 then is A resolution to hire Mr. Steve Norris as a soccer supervisor at the rate of $10 per hour from 14A01B with no benefit, beginning this winter, higher date of August 8th.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 3 is to hire Gabe Duke for the same functions at the rate of $10.50 from Fund 14A01B with no benefits.
I'll second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 4, the third hire would be Mitch Polka for the same reasons from the same places.
I'll move on Parks Board. Second it. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Keeping with the same theme, item number 5 for Shanda Schweikert.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And item number 6 is just simply amending the resolution to hire Jacob Converse with the hire date of August 1.
So moved. Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
And finally, item number 7 is just to authorize the purchase and payment of what amounts to 6 large soccer goals, with the cost not to exceed $14,475 from Fund 01B06 for the Parks Department for Pioneer Athletics. These are to replace goals that are at least 12, if not 15 years old. They are the large goals for our full-size fields, 4, 10, and 11. What you get with those goals, stronger legs, you get beat up over 12 to 15 years, and because they're taller, the younger kids certainly like to jump and see what they can hang on to. So it's just time.
I'll move on Parks 7.
Thank you. My mind's just totally fried. I'm sorry. Making motions on stuff. A sec. You made the motion. I'll second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yeah.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. You know, it's a full moon and that meteor.
Ooh, that was gorgeous.
Something's happening here in the air.
That's all I have. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Nothing on our law director. Communications.
I know you'll be surprised to find we have another communication thanking the fire department, because they can't seem to get enough of that. Tonight, we do have a communication thanking our fire department, because they do a fantastic job. There seem to be 1 or 5 a meeting. So this one reads, Dear Plain firefighters, thank you so much for coming to our church and putting our flag. It was greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Gail Thompson, Chair of Trustees, Easton Chapel United Methodist Church, which was a very kind gesture.
I think the next one takes the cake, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Chief, but I mean,
Driving down the road, seeing
yeah.
Says, thank you, road department, nice job.
I mean, they go out
Is
and
that
create
for
their
the-
own sign.
Is that for those flowers you guys planted?
I don't even know what
I'm
that's
guessing
for.
it's because we paid Diamond Road.
Yeah, that's right.
Diamond.
Yeah, that's right along the roadway.
Certainly better than the alternative.
Yeah.
So you have to find somebody, Chuck, to put up signs.
Speaking of putting up signs, you should see
That's right.
this. This is
Teresa
just a
wrote
sign
that, thank you. Who are you
can make and put in your yard that says slow down.
Joe has his own marketing director.
I got a phone call and somebody thanked me, and I should have said, I can't hear you. Can you put it in the letter and send it?
And you know what, no, that is really nice.
That is very nice.
Oh, boy.
Joe, tell your relative. That's all for communications until next week.
It does bring us to a portion of the meeting now for public speaks. If there's anybody in the audience that wishes to address the Board of Trustees, simply state your name and address for the record. And
I think somebody's here to thank the administrator.
I've never been to one of these before.
just your name and address first.
Candy Elkins,
Okay.
4403 Harrison Avenue, Northwest, Canton, Ohio, 44709. We've been having trouble with our neighbor. It's been going on for 4 or 5 years. The latest, he got my husband arrested for assault. And now since then, which was in March, the end of March, he has now been calling zoning I've talked to Tom over and over again, trying to find something to get us on it. And I need it to stop. I need peace.
You're tough. What kind of stuff are you, I mean, what are you getting?
It is an ongoing neighborhood dispute. The latest complaint was that, I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Candy.
Candy. That Candy and her husband put up an orange snow fence in between the properties. I went over and took a look, and the complainant has a green snow fence on his property, in his backyard. I don't know where to go with this.
I have a picture of why we put the snow fence up. That is my driveway. He is in my driveway, on his riding lawnmower, with his chute pointing right at my vehicles.
Yeah, I have an issue with that. I mean, I'd end up out there getting sheriff calling me because I'd be ripping them off the lawnmower.
Well, the thing is we've called, and every time we call, we do not get any response.
From the sheriff doesn't come out?
No,
Oh,
they come out, but then, nothing is done about it. And,
He shoots all this debris on their cars.
But there's not.
and I just wanted to point out, this is what my house used to look like when we bought the house. This is now what it looks like. We are trying to make drastic improvements, and we still are. We're not done yet. It takes time, it takes money. The reason that my husband was arrested was we had a contractor come out. We were going to do the side of the driveway. We were going to put stone down and then put limestone over top, which would create like cement, because we can't afford cement. He argued with us. My husband and him had words. My husband swung. So the thing is if he were to let us do that, the fence would be gone.
Is she allowed to, she has a snow fence? That's
Yeah,
a
you're allowed to
we're allowed to
have
snow
that.
fence.
Oh, there's nothing that can be done.
No.
I mean, it's
There's
height,
nothing
it's
to-
height and,
Right.
Well, and I like
The
to
setback
point
and the
out.
height are proper. There is nothing in the resolution that dictates the material that a fence should be made of.
And I like to point out, in January, they came out and said we had to move it back because we were on the right of way. That's fine. And we also had to lower it, which we did that. And now he's calling again about the fence 6 months later.
Well, the good news now is that he will no longer call Tom because he feels like Tom isn't helping him. And so, because, Tom, because you're allowed to have that fence, you're not doing anything wrong. He started calling me, which I've referred him back to Tom, so hopefully he's done with his phone calls because he won't speak with Tom.
I mean, to me, this seems like harassment.
I was gonna say, does he keep bothering you about the fence?
But
There's a portion to come.
Well, now he's going through you because there's no contact.
Well,
he's gonna get the same, I will
Yeah.
tell you, he will get the same exact
and he
answer
has.
from any of us as trustees, he's gonna get the same damn.
Yeah, the only thing I told him is that if he has an issue, he can go through community mediation and try to mediate any issue with you guys, through a community mediator to see if you can resolve any issues. Because he was talking about surveys and blah, 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 things that I don't care about. Because he's saying the survey's wrong, this, that. I said, survey your property, do what you need to do, but if you want anything resolved, go through community mediation.
Unfortunately,
And he won't, so we're done.
And to be honest, I don't know if I could be in the same boat with him.
Right, but that's been our only resolution. He hasn't called back, and now Tom and I are done.
Eric, is there anything, outside of guidance that you give the board just from a practical, high level legal advice?
Yeah, the first thing is, I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. The second thing is, I've heard every member of this board at one time or another say, we're sorry that we can't legislate that people be good neighbors. There's only, every call that comes in is gonna get treated the same. Now, certainly if he's on his 10th call that leads to nothing, it's gonna kind of go down to the bottom of the list, but we're a public agency. When the call comes in, we have a duty to investigate it, we gotta I
Oh,
gotta
I
do that.
understand that.
So there's nothing that we can do from the standpoint of telling him he can't call, telling him not to call, we're not gonna do that. Just because we're a complaint-driven office, Tom's office, that's how they operate. I wish I could do more with it in terms of, as you say, harassment, but being a public agency, we can't, we've gotta take calls as they come.
Let me ask you, you said if he calls continuously about the fence,
Sure.
that Tom says he's allowed to defend,
Yeah.
but can't Tom not take?
You can just keep giving them the same answer, which is what
That's what we're doing.
Which is what you do.
That's
You
what
say,
we are doing
we've
at
looked
this
into
point.
it, we find nothing wrong with it, there's nothing our office can do.
Right, and that's what we're telling them.
Sure. And
But
He called my office too, saying.
Does it help you out knowing that you're okay with the fence?
Doing
I'm sorry?
Does it help you knowing that even though he's calling and complaining about the fence, that you're okay, allowed to have a fence? Does that help you a little bit?
Yes, it does, but on the other
44.3
fact, I believe, I want to go talk to my husband's attorney, because for some reason, I think that, how can he get away with this? How can he keep bothering us after he already, got my husband arrested? It's frustrating.
let me be clear so that you and I understand each other. I don't represent you, you know that.
Mhm,
There is not one part of me that will tell you not to discuss this with your own attorney.
mhm,
Okay? There are things he can tell you that I can't. I'm their attorney.
mhm.
Okay? So absolutely sit down with your husband's attorney.
Okay, I
Okay?
appreciate that.
Sure.
Is this house,
Is there something that I can get maybe in writing or not?
Such as what?
Proving that he's doing this.
Oh, we have a
Well,
log.
it's all public
Yeah, we
record.
log the calls, are all public record.
Honestly,
Well, we don't
from a-
log his phone calls.
Doesn't
every time he
zoning log
calls.
the complainant?
All of the calls that he has made have not been logged.
Yeah.
The complaints that came in have been logged.
Okay, so you
And
could
and
take
my
the
other
complaints.
concern is that he will have other people call,
Oh,
so
I
it
see.
doesn't also
Sure.
reflect him.
Oh.
I understand.
Yeah, when he
Because he
calls
is
in
sly
like
like that.
I'll tell you what,
He's very sly.
let's do this, if you're okay with it. Talk to your husband's attorney and then maybe circle back.
Okay,
Because I think he probably will have some ideas,
okay,
okay?
I appreciate that.
Sure.
does he live to the north or the south of you?
He lives
Yeah.
to the west.
Right, okay, I thought you guys
Well, Harrison runs north and south.
My address is Harrison, his is 44.
Okay.
I'm on the
All right,
corner.
okay, I got it.
I've seen that house, I've seen that house there down there. That's nice.
Yeah, we're trying to make drastic improvements.
When he calls in for me, I have Tom call him back because it's zoning and he won't answer
And then he
Tom's
won't answer the
calls.
phone. And he tells Lisa, I didn't answer it because it was Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So then we're
Well,
at
well,
an
well,
impasse.
then-
So-
Well, we're not gonna play games.
No.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Is he the owner of that property or?
No, he's
He's a
not.
renter, his
His
father's
dad
the
owns
owner.
His father's name. And I don't even know if his father's aware he's doing it. So that was going to be my next question is, will his father be also notified that he's also doing this?
That's not really in our.
now, the only way we would
Yeah.
do that is if he would have a violation, we would notify the owner of the property,
Okay.
not the renter.
Okay. Yeah,
Which
we want
in
to
some
be peaceful
cases
people,
gets
you
us
know?
pretty good action.
We're just trying to live our lives and it's being very difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is there anything else? You wish to address the board any further on anything, or are you good?
No, thank you guys very much.
Okay. Nobody else in the audience? That'll conclude public speaks. It does take us to the concerns of the trustees. Do you have anything, John? No. Great, thank you. I just wanted to note, got the ODOT meeting, John and I will be at all, Tom and Chuck, regarding the 7762 Fulton Road. Because all of those comments were supposed to be back in by Monday, 7/7. So we should be reporting back as to what's coming from that, given the fact that we're looking at did that February, start April of next year. I think similar to how we had recognized, honestly, the sheriff's office and doing some of the work with Hall of Fame, a lot of sleep missing out on. Likewise, just recognize the work that our fire guys were doing just based upon the traffic that was coming in and out of there. And, you know, how we continue to allow Station 3 to be used for staging, you know, the resources over there. Then lastly, It was nice to see last week, the Oakwood Square parking lot party. I can't
Yeah,
tell
it
you
was-
how many residents said, this feels good to finally have something to come out to for the township. We know it's a work in progress back there, but for everybody that was involved in every facet, whether it was safety, protection, that the businesses helped promote it, that truly was a
Yeah.
shot in the arm back there, because I know a lot of folks, you know, talking with the business owners, they said, outside of selling out of most of their food out here in the parking lot, the restaurants were slammed all day long.
Yeah.
That's the type
That was
of,
huge.
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to
good.
be seen,
That's,
so.
And you
that's
know,
the attraction.
we still had almost 700 people at the farmer's market, even with how huge that was.
655.
655. Mhm.
So I think it accomplished what we set out to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing else, our concerns of trustees, concerns of fiscal officer?
No concerns.
Okay, we'll take us to the approval of the minutes for July 25th, 2017, and I will so move.
Second.
Discussion?
Mhm.
Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes. We do have a need for executive session, so be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:45 PM from this regular meeting is authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose and consideration of 1A, appointment of a public employee or official, 1B, employment of a public employee or official, 1F, compensation of a public employee or official, 2B, the sale of property by competitive bid to prevent the disclosure of information that would provide competitive advantage, and 7, consider confidential information related to marketing plans, business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance or to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that both of the following conditions apply, 7A and 7B.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa?
Yes.